The corridors of Westfield High buzzed with life, a cacophony of laughter, footsteps, lockers slamming, and the occasional shot. Yet Clara moved through them as if cocooned in silence. Her books were pressed tightly to her chest, fingers clutching them like fragile shields. She scanned the hallways with careful attention, noting the shifting currents of glances, whispers, and the invisible hierarchies that shaped adolescent life. She had learned to navigate quietly, to exist without drawing unnecessary attention. Yet beneath her calm exterior, a quiet fire burned, one that had waited patiently for its moment. Rafael, a year older, moved through the halls with an effortless confidence that drew attention without trying. His laugh was a soft melody, disarming yet genuine. Clara noticed the subtle depth behind his gaze, the way he seemed to see more than most. When his eyes met hers, even fleetingly, her heart swelled with an unspoken understanding that she cherished silently. Julia, tall, golden-haired, with a smile that could disarm a room, had long made her intentions toward Rafael clear. Every laugh that lingered a second too long, every touch on his arm, every carefully timed glance was a challenge to Clara's quiet heart. And though Clara remained composed, the sting of envy was a shadow she could not entirely ignore. The library became Clara's refuge. The scent of aged paper and ink, the hushed turning of pages, the sun streaming through tall windows all created a world apart. Here, she could breathe, think, and exist. Rafael appeared one afternoon, leaning casually against the shelf with a soft smile. "Looking for something specific?" he asked. Clara blinked, startled. "Just browsing," she murmured. "Mind if I join you?" he asked. She nodded, and together they wandered the aisles, speaking in quiet tones about novels, authors, and the worlds within pages. Hours passed unnoticed. Outside, the noise of school life was distant. Inside, there was only shared curiosity, laughter, and the subtle thrill of being understood. Julia lingered at the doorway, her eyes calculating, smile too wide. Clara felt a twinge of unease but forced herself to breathe steadily. Julia eventually left, and Clara returned her attention to Rafael, grateful for the sanctuary of their shared world. Weeks turned into months. Library sessions became ritualistic. Walks home, brief exchanges in hallways, shared lunches became a rhythm that slowly defined them. Their hands brushed in passing, fingers occasionally interlocking, sparks passing silently between them. Each touch, each glance, each soft laugh reinforced the fragile bond they were forming. Julia's envy simmered beneath the surface. She cornered Clara once in the hallway, perfume heavy, voice sweet yet sharp. "You really think you can hold his attention? You're just invisible." Clara held her gaze, calm and unwavering. "I don't need to hold anyone's attention. He already sees me." Julia faltered, and Rafael arrived, slipping his hand lightly into Clara's. "Don't let her words matter," he whispered. "You're stronger than she could ever imagine." "It's not easy," Clara admitted softly, "but with you it feels possible." Their weekends became adventures. They discovered quiet streets, hidden cafes, parks tucked between city blocks. Rainy afternoons were treasures. Umbrellas collided, fingers brushed. Laughter mingled with the patter of water on pavement. Each moment became a memory, a story they shared only with one another. "I like the rain," Clara whispered one gray afternoon. "Really? I always thought it made things lonely." Rafael replied, a teasing glint in his eyes. "Maybe," she said softly, "but it makes quiet moments unforgettable. Then let's remember this one," he said, brushing his fingers against hers. The science fair arrived. Clara poured herself into her project, crafting a holographic display with meticulous care. The gymnasium was filled with students, parents, and teachers, yet when the display illuminated, light spilling across the polished floors, the room fell silent. Every gaze fixed on her, yet Rafael's eyes never wavered. "This is incredible," he whispered, leaning close. Clara's chest tightened. Julia attempted a subtle interference, but Clara's poise was unbroken. She explained her project with clarity and confidence. Gestures calm, voice steady. The crowd shifted from doubt to admiration. Clara felt a quiet triumph, a validation beyond applause. Afterward, Rafael walked beside her through the courtyard bathed in golden sunlight. Their hands brushed, tentative at first, then lingered. "You were incredible," he murmured. "Thanks," Clara said, cheeks warming. "I didn't think I could do it." "You didn't need to think," he replied softly. "You just were. That's what makes you remarkable." Summer arrived, stretching long and golden. Days were filled with exploration, hidden beaches, quiet parks, secret bookshops tucked down narrow alleys. Rainy afternoons were spent in cozy cafes, sharing hot chocolate and stolen glances. Every touch, every laugh, every lingering moment strengthened their bond. The poetry contest was another stage. Clara's poems poured out her heart, fears, and dreams. Her voice trembled at first, then gained strength, filling the auditorium with honesty and passion. Sometimes the heart speaks loudest when the world refuses to listen, she concluded. Applause followed, but Rafael's gaze conveyed more meaning than any recognition. Julia's whispers and sideways glances fell flat, powerless against Clara's quiet brilliance. Prom night arrived. Clara wore a pale lavender dress, delicate yet commanding. Rafael found her instantly. "You look perfect," he whispered. "And you look incredible," she replied. Their first dance was slow, tentative, then natural. A choreography of glances, gentle touches, and electric sparks. Julia watched helplessly from afar. As the final song faded, Rafael drew Clara close, foreheads touching, breath mingling. He whispered, "I've never felt anything like this." "Neither have I," she replied. "Maybe because we finally see each other truly." Summer extended into months of intimacy and shared adventure. Every day was filled with exploration, long walks along the river, spontaneous ice cream stops, evenings reading poetry together, sun-drenched afternoons at hidden beaches. Each shared experience cemented the love they nurtured. Julia's power diminished with time. Her interference grew feeble, irrelevant in the face of Clara's calm confidence and Rafael's unwavering support. Clara's quiet strength had become impossible to overshadow. As the school year ended, Clara reflected on the journey, the fears, the quiet triumphs, and the intensity of feeling that had defined her. She opened her diary. Love is not about possession or victory. Love is about recognition, courage, and the quiet understanding that someone sees you when the world refuses to. Rafael brushed her hand gently. "Then let me see you every day," he whispered. Clara smiled, her heart full. In the warmth of summer and in the presence of the boy she loved, she realized that patience, courage, and unwavering devotion were enough to change everything. They continued to explore the city together. The flea market on Saturdays, the late-night diners that smelled of coffee and fries, the small cinema that played old black-and-white films. Every shared laugh, every secret glance, every moment of quiet intimacy became a thread woven into the fabric of their lives. Julia tried one last time, during a school fundraiser. She positioned herself to catch Rafael's attention. A calculated smile and an accidental brush of arms. Clara felt the familiar twinge of anxiety but took a slow breath. Rafael's hand remained in hers. The subtle defiance in her posture, combined with his steady presence, rendered Julia's attempt meaningless. Clara had grown, and Rafael had chosen her, not as a statement, but as a reflection of what was true between them. Even mundane routines became a canvas for intimacy. Studying together under the oak tree outside the library, sharing a sandwich on a park bench, laughing at inside jokes, or watching the rain streak down windows while their fingers touched lightly. The ordinary was transformed into the extraordinary by their connection. The school year concluded with quiet celebrations. Clara and Rafael walked hand in hand through the courtyard, the sun setting in hues of gold and pink. They paused beneath the familiar oak tree, where countless conversations had shaped their bond. "I can't believe how far we've come," Clara whispered. "Me neither," Rafael said. "But it's just the beginning." They kissed softly, a promise and a recognition of everything they had endured. The epilogue of their high school days was not one of grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but of quiet constancy. Their love had endured jealousy, uncertainty, and the turbulence of adolescence. It was a love built on patience, recognition, and unwavering devotion. In a world blinded by envy and noise, sometimes quiet courage and steadfast love are enough to change everything. The city hummed around them, indifferent yet alive. Yet in the space they shared, time slowed. Hands clasped, hearts entwined, Clara and Rafael stepped forward together, ready for the future, secure in the knowledge that they had truly seen each other, and that was enough.